True or false? Some people just love to remain broke. What's your take on that? Back in a minute. Hey, this is Jan from New York City, and I love helping people to keep some more of their own hard earned money. Have you ever heard some people say in front of you, so and so really wants to be broke? Sometimes I pause and I think about that for a minute. Would people really want to remain broke? It's kind of hard to believe that, but sometimes people self sabotage themselves into remaining broke. Now, that is a sure possibility. Let's talk about this. Right before I went on here to record this message, my headset that I use for my microphone, the wire that's connected to it was extremely raveled. And it's a tricky business to keep the wire literally straight so you don't have a big mishmash of tangled up wire before you need to use your headphone. No matter how careful you are, sometimes that still gets a little bit crazy. So right before I went on here just now to make the recording, I realized something about the tangled wire. Tangled wire is sort of like a financial mess. I was thinking about it that way. And sometimes when you're trying to unravel the tangle into something, all it takes is one action, the way you turn that tangle wire around in one certain loop, if you will, and all of a sudden it immediately unravels. Well, so too when it comes to staying out of the broke mentality. But there is one thing for certain that will keep people down from getting ahead, and that's not addressing their debt. The very, very first thing, that elephant in the room that is causing strife in your life, not you personally, whoever is listening to this, that this may apply to. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not you. Maybe you know of someone in that situation. People like that are living with a subconscious elephant in their mental lives, and that's debt. And you want to know something? Here goes the question. How do you eat an elephant? Well, not that I would prefer to eat an elephant, but if I had no choice, I would eat the elephant one bite at a time. If you can approach this big, big, big elephant or big burden called debt in your life, like eating an elephant and addressing it one bite at a time, you will succeed. You see, here's the problem. Here's another problem, rather. A lot of times people, they remain broke because they think the future is some way off, distant, far, far, far away place. Can I tell you something? 5 seconds from now is the future. 1 second from now is the future. But we could think long term and we could think short term. But if you want to get rid of a burden right away, as fast as possible, get rid of the debt, clear that elephant in the room. Well, some people say, well, they say that there's a thing called good debt. You want to know what I think about that? Yeah, I've heard that term, good debt. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't like debt. Debt is debt. Get rid of it. That's just the way I am. I'd prefer to have zero debt. There is nothing in the world like knowing you owe no one anything. For example, well, some people say, well, it's just the bank. Sorry, but that's still an obligation. Even though it may not be a person that you know, it's still an obligation, and we are to meet up with our obligations. Well, how can I keep up with this in such hard times? Prevention. The number one thing is prevention. And I know sometimes it's really, really hard to say no to things that we really, really wish we had. And I know it's oh so tempting, especially with those lots and lots of buy now, pay later deals. And usually towards the end of a year, have you noticed how a lot of those type of sales go on buy now and pay in 60 months? Then you figure, wow, I have all the time in the world. You want to know what those type of offers do? They confuse people. They confuse people into exactly how much are they going to be paying for the luxury. Remember one thing, businesses are in it to make money. They're not just thinking about your convenience of repaying it back. There is a financial stake to be paid for it. You have to get everything ready in your mind. Here's my other theory. If I can't pay for something outright, I'm not going to buy it. It's just it's just that simple. It's just that simple. If those numbers are not in an account of which that, let's say you pay with the vehicle of a credit card because you have to pay things with credit cards to transfer your monies, right? But if that person or thing or item, whatever, if you cannot meet that number knowing that you don't have that number before the bill comes in, which is very, very much sooner than people think, then guess what? You just can't do it. And don't get trapped into thinking making minimum payments is the answer. Making minimum payments is not the answer, and you're really falling deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. These are the things that keep people broke. Okay, so we're talking about things that help keep people broke. Next, it's never wanting to compromise on certain things. Like, for example, I have to go directly to a movie to watch a movie and sit in a movie theater and have expensive popcorn. I am not compromising. I work hard. I deserve going to the quote, end of quote, real movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. If you're trying to save money and you're trying to pull yourself out of debt, okay, some people think, well, what's one time? One time is not going to do it. Okay, let's take that theory of the I only do this once in a while. It may be true. One may go to the quote, end of quote, real movie once in a while. Let's put that thought aside for a second. Then a couple of days later, something else comes up, but I really, really have to have that jacket. And it's got to be by that designer brand name. This is a couple of days after the one time movie. Okay, and I never get to do it, and blah, blah, blah. I deserve it, blah, blah. All the excuses on planet Earth, all the rationalizations to take out the plastic and think, well, it's not going to hurt because why? I'm going to get to pay minimum payments on this, minimum payments on that. You are just racking yourself up to a future big, big elephant in the room. Think of like an elephant, a baby elephant grazing in your living room. Let's say really pretty small, kind of cute, fuzzy looking, adorable in a way from a distance. I know that sounds crazy, but every time you give in, every time you cave in, every time you come up with the excuse that how much you deserve this, this, that, and that, and this, that elephant is feeding off of that like food. And little by little, that elephant's getting bigger and bigger. Now, this only goes to show and prove that incremental changes can be a deal maker or a deal breaker. In this case, it was a deal breaker because perhaps 3 or 4 days later, that same person that had to go to the real movies, that had to buy the designer jacket, all of a sudden puts on TV and they get into those 3 letter shopping modes that offer such and such easy payment plan. And now we have more things added to the list of, hey, this stuff adds up. And that elephant is now turning into a monster, a self created monster. These are the things that keep people broke and not going further. Not attacking the debt gets you deeper and deeper into the rabbit's hole. I mean it. Take a minute, take a breath. And I know this is the time of the year where, the plastic is flying. Just saying, just saying. Take a breath, exhale, and say, you know what? I'm really tired of this vicious cycle. And I've heard this song before, not just on this channel, but a gazillion other channels. Try to live the debt-free life. Make it a goal for 2023 and make a personal commitment that you are going to live the debt-free life. It is a different world. For a person that may not be used to it, I can promise you it is a world that you will love. And you'll probably never, ever want to return to the debt-filled lifestyle. Just some thoughts. Just thought I'd go over that with you. Hey, listen, if you found value in my video, thank you for smashing down the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video if at all possible. It might help someone. Have a great day, everybody.